Well, hello everyone. So my name is Crystal and I am an intuitive reader. I'm going to be doing this collective reading. It's going to be more focused on the energy of relationships, romantic more so than partnerships, like business partnerships or friendships. So it's interesting that a lot of the energy that's been going, and understand, first of all, this is a general reading, which means basically the best way to look at it is a general or a collective reading. Whenever you see a lot of these videos that aren't a personal one-on-one video, you should more look at them as kind of like an energetic buffet where you're going through the video and the things that look appealing to you, put those on your plate and move down. Same thing with this. So if something resonates, then there's a reason why you're meant to hear this. If it doesn't resonate, that's okay. Just let it go. It's okay if some of this really resonates and then the rest doesn't. It's okay. So we're just going to hang out and see what comes through. The energy across the board lately, especially when it comes to relationships, is I'm finding a lot of people are finding themselves in the situation where in the beginning of the connection, there was a lot of resonance. There was a lot of connection. And it's interesting because as time went through, more and more of it started feeling like that was not the case. Boy, that really popped out, didn't it? And it's interesting, a lot of the people that I'm talking to doing readings about, many times it's because somewhere along that relationship, they were either just putting their best foot forward or they were not fully stepping into who they were authentically, either out of fear, out of just being in past relationships where that wasn't like fully accepted and loved, and you end up with two people that will maybe have the best intent, get together, and after a while they start feeling like they're not in the same wavelength, they're not resonating. And it's interesting, there's either like a mirroring effect that's going on. There's different, in short, there's a lot of this where it feels like you get two people get in a situation, they get fully involved in this, and then they're like, why is things are so different? Why are we just not understanding each other? Why am I not just relating as well to you? So what we're going into, a lot of the energy across the board in the collective is really embracing who we are authentically, stepping into whatever that is. If there are certain things that we love, things that we're passionate about, that is about embracing who we are in here, and that if they're in a partnership, that once you fully are embracing who you are and it doesn't resonate, it doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with you or the other person. It just means it's not as much of a match. But when you have two individuals that are resonating and working through life, moving through life in the idea of trying to present themselves as authentically as possible, then there's less of a chance of that happening. Because especially right now, the energy across the board is all about magnification. And so understand that as we're going through this path and we're embracing who we are, moving forward with the intention of learning to be able to love and accept ourselves, that it's interesting how this is all going to do a big shift and change. So I pulled 3 cards to get started. Now the first one we have over here is the 6 of Earth in reverse. And this is interesting because when this card, it's hard to see in this one, maybe you can see it. This beautiful deck, the imagery with the 6 of Earth, especially with this one, when it's upright, is the energy of being very grounded, like somebody who really knows who they are. Maybe they're a little different than the average person, or maybe they don't have a lot of people and there's people they work with, something that are just like them. But this is somebody that they're at home in themselves. So no matter where they are, they feel a certain level of comfort. Now, when this is in reverse, which is the total opposite of that, this is somebody who wants to be more authentically in who they are and be able to show up that way. But there could be that fear that may be holding them back from being able to do this, not realizing the more that you do embrace this energy, the energy of really resonate who you are on a soul level, that your vibe is going to attract your tribe, not just in friends and connections, but most importantly in romantic relationships. So the next 2 we have is the 5 of Air, which is these are both in the upright position. These are incredibly beautiful. Air is about freedom, about feeling light, feeling flow, feeling heading towards your purpose, right? And the one right next to it is the 5 of Water. Water is all about emotions. So here we are looking at that to be able to get into this position where we're standing more and authentically ourselves, this takes a leap of faith. in many ways. And sometimes it's as little as shifting, finally embracing, if you love certain colors or clothing or things, and you really start embracing just how you show up in the world, even if you're just work from home, getting up in the morning and putting the clothes on, the colors that feel right. I mean, it's funny. I felt it even this morning when I was getting up. I was like, okay, what do I feel like wearing? And I'm like, nothing feels right. And I'm like, but I'm not going anywhere today. But I realized this morning for myself, here I am at almost 55, realizing it doesn't matter. It's how I feel and the way I feel about myself, even in the colors I wear or the clothing I put on, that how I feel will resonate my energy throughout the day. So if I take a few extra moments to take a moment, say, okay, what feels right? Is there a certain color that I want to wear? With me, I love the feel of velvet. I always have, even as a child. And I have this little velvet hoodie, and I was like, oh, okay. I like the idea. I like the idea of having the fabric that I love with me all day. And it like made me happier, even though I'm literally not really going to be leaving the house today. I'll be filming a lot of content like this, but it made a difference. But that's a way that I'd be stepping into my authenticity. If I just threw on the different things knowing I was going to make videos and like, okay, well, this would look presentable, or I should wear that I wasn't showing up as me. This is me. This is me in my little velvet hoodie being my authentic self. It takes a leap of faith sometimes, but it could be something as small of a shift as shifting how you choose your clothes to move through the day. Even if you're just hanging out at home, maybe you're just going to be hanging out at home and you've got like 20 different t-shirts, but you feel like you're in a purple mood that day. And so you wear your purple shirt. That energy is going to resonate with a certain frequency. If that's what feels good, embrace that. So the next one is talking about emotions. Water is all about emotions. And with this one, this beautiful, lovely mermaid is all the way down at the bottom of the water with her tail just barely brushing the bottom of the sea. So she's down deep. These are down deep emotions. But instead of fighting them or pushing them down, they look like these beautiful pearls that are kind of rising up around her, and she's holding one in her hand. And this is talking about the power of looking at our emotions, letting them be everything they are. They're valid just as they are. Maybe you're frustrated or angry or any of these things, and those are the kind of emotions that people don't always like to admit, or if they do, it comes out in a big burst. But why is that? Why do we judge our feelings? They're just feelings. But if we take a moment to let them rise up just enough, give them the space and the grace to tell us, well, what is it you're here to say? I feel frustrated, I feel angry, I feel sad, I feel lonely. Okay, all of those emotions, what if we don't judge them? What if we just take a moment to let them rise up and really take a look at them? Especially when we're talking about moving through in relationships, because our interactions with our partner are not just about what's going on in that. Many of the times it's things like this. Things will bubble up from the surface, old feelings, old emotions, stuff from past relationships, stuff all the way back from our childhood. But if we allow these emotions to rise up and take a moment just like she is, I don't know if you can see this. I'll have to take a picture of some of these so you can see it, but it's like these big bubbles of air or emotions as this beautiful pearl. And she's just holding it just a moment in her hand to really take a look and say, I see you. I see you. It's a way for you to validate your own feelings for yourself and be able to say, yep, that's how I'm feeling, but it's just an emotion. That's not me. It's just my feelings. It's not defining who I am. We're all human. We're spending this time in this human body moving through this experience and not giving ourselves just the grace and the compassion to understand we're human. We're going to have these emotions. They're going to happen. And it's okay if we let them rise up and give them enough time and space to be able to say, well, why are you here? Like say the emotion of frustration rises up and you push it down, push it down, push it down in your relationship. Maybe something your partner does, there's something about it just keeps triggering you. And every time they do it, you get frustrated, but you don't say anything and you push it down, you push it down, you push it down. And eventually they do it again, whatever it may be. It could literally be squeezing the toothpaste from the center of the tube, and that just drives you nuts. But the interesting thing, the lesson in this, it's not about the toothpaste tube. It is literally about why is that rising up in you? What is your frustration about that? Is there something about the fact that you don't like the way that's done, and if it would be done your way, it would not upset you, that is a good thing to take a look at. Because when you realize it's something outside of you, either if it's something a partner did, and understand anything I'm discussing now does not excuse bad behavior as in abusive or any of these things. I'm talking about everyday little things, like I said, like the tube of toothpaste. It's beyond just that. What is it that's triggering you? The message is not in the action, the message is in the why. So if you let that emotion come up and say that was the case, and you're like, okay, and later on I'm like, why was I frustrated? Well, maybe it's, I feel like it's something that I like to have a certain way, but when they do that, I feel like something that I don't like is happening and I feel frustrated. Well, where is that coming from? That easily can stem from things in your past, even something several times through the past, where something was out of your control, out of your say in the situation, and your hands were tied. You weren't able to express how you felt about things. And so because that was suppressed for so long, it needs to find a way to be able to release. And here you are with the opportunity to say, it's not about how the tube of toothpaste gets squeezed. It's how I'm being triggered and what can that tell me about me to help me readjust. Now, understand this doesn't excuse bad behavior if somebody is doing it knowing they're upsetting you. But I'm talking about how can we really look at what's going on. So let's go ahead and we're going to pull some more cards about this to see what this also has to say. This other deck that I like to work with is the Inner Child Oracle. So far, let's just take a peek. We're finding out that the more rooted and grounded we are in just who we are. Now understand, that doesn't mean you've got a bunch of opinions and you're going to push them on other people or cause it to be an issue, like you use that and wield that like a tool. It's just when you're more centered and grounded in who you are, you're not as attached to the things outside of you to the point where they can rock your boat, where they can push your buttons, because this is having a deeper sense of who you are, being more centered and grounded. And once you get into the habit of realizing when emotions that don't feel good rise up, it's about asking them the why, not just trying to push them down or move them aside. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what the Inner Child Oracle has to say, because like I said, a lot of the things that present themselves in relationships are things that are letting us know a lot more about ourselves. Our relationship, that what it's like, everything in it is really not just about the person we're in the relationship with. Many times it's a reflection back of things, because there's something within us in a vibrational level that is vibrating at that same frequency. It may be the memory of someone that was not nice to us in the past or did things that hurt our feelings, and we have a history of experiencing that. And so if we have anything that even has any sense of that energy, we could react with all of that pent up emotion that we had been pushing down over all that time. So, but a lot of that, like I said, is coming through to teach us something through our inner child. So I'm going to go ahead. This is a newer deck I am playing with. I'm still getting used to the energy of it, but I really love this one. So we're going to go ahead. Ooh, these are good ones. So we're going to go ahead and I think, okay, just one of those, but I'm going to go ahead and read this one. So another reason why I really like these new decks that I got is they do a big deep dive in this one. And here we go. This is awesome. It says, it's okay to be misunderstood. Perception is not always based on truth. Now, here we are just talking about a situation of how we were reacting to something that someone has done, our partner, the person we're in a relationship, the person that we're interested in, right? It's okay to be misunderstood. Perception is not always based on the truth. Let's go ahead and read what this has to say a little more in depth about it, but I feel like we got the energy of where we're headed. Okay, it says to go on an adventure is to awaken the explorer within. There is much joy to be had in adopting the spirit of exploration, even for a day. As children, life was a remarkable journey into the unknown, and remembering that excitement can help bring our joyful inner child to the surface. If you pulled this card today, it may be time to try something new today. And it's interesting going on the adventure. I really feel this has a lot to do with what we were talking about in this one, where we're talking about allowing our emotions and feelings to rise up and have the time to really look at what they have to tell us. I think a lot of that has to do with that deep exploration we're talking about. And I know you're like, how does this all have to do with relationships? It has everything to do with relationships, especially. It's not just the relationship of the person we're physically in a relationship with. The most important relationship we're going to ever have in our whole life, which dictates and guides all of the other relationships in our life, is the relationship we have with ourselves. That's why this is incredibly important. So doing the deep dives, and understand, it may not be, they squeeze the toothpaste and you come in and you get really upset. Having that, trying to have that deep exploration when you're not happy about something and you're pissed off, is not going to be easy to do, so don't feel bad. But it's taking the time to be like, okay, maybe I need a little time out. Maybe I need to go outside, take a walk, go move around out somewhere and feel and see things in a different light. So, and understand, a lot of times it doesn't have anything to do about the person, but it's reflecting back towards us something that we need to take a better look at. And it doesn't mean it's pointing the finger like anybody's wrong. This whole life experience that we are going through, it's a journey. It's not a destination. It's healing, it's learning, but that's not an end point. It's not like you graduate and get a cap and gown and you get to walk across a stage. Life and learning and healing is a journey. It's a lifelong journey. Okay, so let's go ahead and see. So the next one I'm going to work with is Energy and Spirit Oracle Guidebook. Look at me, I'm such a goof. What can I say? Okay, I'm just going to be a little more comfortable and just be me, because I am a little silly and goofy, but that's okay. We got this. We can do this together. We got this, guys. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to ask to see if we have a little more of a message, maybe from our angels and guides, to give us a little more of an idea of what this is trying to tell us, give us a little guidance and how we can go ahead and shift and improve our relationship with ourselves first. Ooh, this one's good. It says wisdom of the Magi. It says mental clarity. And you know what's interesting too? I don't know if you can see it in this image, but the gentleman that's standing there, just like her, with the emotions that are rising up, he has his hands open, and he's holding this beautiful glowing globe, talking about mental clarity. It's like really connecting with self or spirit. So what a beautiful message going through when we're able to allow ourselves to really look, and without judgment, and what our emotions are and what our feelings are that are rising up. We're going to find a lot of treasure in that. So let's go ahead and see what it says about mental clarity for this one, and do a little deep dive and see what our guides have for us. And it says mental clarity, right? Wisdom of the Magi. It says the Magi bring powerful, perhaps life-changing guidance to you. When this card appears in your reading, it indicates that an important project is either already in the works or will be coming your way soon. This may be something personal, or it may relate to a career or professional goal. Either way, you have the ability now to take on even complex endeavors. You will be guided and inspired by this great eternal collective mind. In ancient times, people sought assistance from the Magi, the wise men who were alchemists and astrologers. These masters were thought to have access to hidden magical information. So whatever you need need input on a decision or plan, open your heart and mind to the empowering wisdom of this majestic group of guides. Oh, isn't this beautiful? When meditating or falling asleep, call on the Magi. Enlightening guidance will be coming your way. What a beautiful message. And it's interesting too, because this mental clarity, it's talking about open your heart and mind. And that's literally what we've been talking about. And it's interesting because, like I said, so many people, when I'm working and doing energy readings for people and helping guide them and help bring information through across the board, especially when it's in relationship with others, they don't realize how much of influence and power, how they see themselves is reflected in the relationship, how it reflects how things are working in this partnership, because understand that we are one half of the equation. When you're in a partnership with somebody, it's not just about them and what's going on between you two, it's about the relationship with self. And if nothing else, what a beautiful message today, that not only can we see a lot more flow in our relationships, and it may be that it's flow in the way that it's telling us that the relationship we're in is not a good fit for either party. And the only way we'd ever know if this is something that we need to grow through or it's something we need to grow from will come through when we're spending time connecting with who we truly are on a soul level, not who we feel we need to be in the relationships moving forward out in this world. It's connecting deeply with self. That comes from taking even just a few moments a day to allowing our emotions to rise up and ask them, what do you have to say today? What would you like me to know? This is talking about taking a leap of faith and stepping forward towards us, that we are able to present ourselves in a more fuller, authentic light when we first start with that within ourselves. This is also said, it's okay to be misunderstood. So that means it's okay. Embrace who you are in whatever form it is. If you're, not wanting to do things, feeling the fear like, oh, well, if everyone knew how silly and goofy I was, are they really just going to believe that I can actually do what I say I can do? Yes, you can. And this is telling you it's okay to be misunderstood. Don't let the thought or the fear rise up and take away your freedom to truly embrace who you are on a soul level. And here they said, talking about the mental clarity. That is being able to allow, remember, you allow your emotions to rise up and greet them with curiosity. So it's very interesting. Yes, there wasn't a straightforward one about what's going on romantically, but the most important thing was, like I said, here we go once again, finding out, guess what? The most important function or our role in the relationship with another, it starts with us. Okay, so thank you so much for coming in and hanging out. If you're still here listening, from my heart to yours, I send you so much love. We'll figure this out. I mean, my goodness, I'm going to be 55 this year and I'm still figuring it out. But it's all about enjoying the journey and just embrace, like I said, even like me getting to put on my favorite little velvet hoodie and just enjoying being myself and just showing up, being me. So be authentic, be brave. Step, like I said, take that leap of faith. Step out and try something a little out of your comfort zone. Many times you're going to find out that's the only way you're really going to find out what you're actually going to like if you actually try something new. But remember, you're the most important relationship in your life, so take care of it. Have compassion for yourself and let your heart lead you home, because your heart knows the way home, my dear. So take care.